San Angelo, and then all the way back to Edna and Del Campo. We are down on the farm on our 14 affiliate stations. Come on down the Pecan Tree Lined Lane through the screen door into our kitchen table, and let's talk about the things that are affecting agriculture today. And we'll feed you a big old heaping helping of chicken fried steak, jalapeno gravy, Nanny's yeast rolls, and a cold cucumber salad, and a sweet glass of iced tea to boot. And a look at ag weather for one of our affiliate cities. Let's pick Seguin, Texas, where we have 1580 AM KWD. As we look at today's weather, 99 the high and 74 the low. Saturday, partly cloudy, 97 the high, 76 the low. Sunday, mostly sunny, 98 the high and 76 the low. Monday, pretty much sunny, 99 the high and 76 the low. And Tuesday the 11th for our Seguin affiliate, 100 the high and 77 the low. Neighbor, there's just ag weather for one of our 14 affiliates. If you need to find out where you can listen to Down on the Farm, go to our website. All 14 are listed. And you can always listen each day at our Down on the Farm Facebook page here at 11:30. Let's take a look at the commodities. December corn, 320 3/4 down 3. November beans, 873 1/2 down 4 1/2. September Kansas City hard red winter wheat down. December Kansas City wheat down 5 3/4 at 411 1/2. September West Texas intermediate crude down 49 at 41.56. December gold down $22.30 by the ounce at $2,047.20 by the ounce. October live cattle up 7 1/2 at 107.07. September feeder cattle down 25 at 145.62. October lean hogs up 115 at 50.35, while your December number 2 cotton contracts down 183 at 63.03. And your September U.S. dollar index is up 607 points at 93.38. And of course, there are your commodities of ag interest, as close to the noon hour as we can get. Now let's visit the Texas Farm Bureau Radio News Desk and see what's coming up on Texas News and Views.
The latest crop progress and condition report from USDA. I'm Tom Nicoletti with Texas News and Views on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. Details in a minute.
For healthier crops and stronger yields, count on Nutrien Ag Solutions. By partnering with the leader in plant nutrition, you'll have access to innovative products and unmatched service that deliver impact and efficiency to every acre. Healthier crops, happier growers. Lead the field this season and beyond. Find your local crop consultant at nutrienagsolutions.com.
You're more than a rancher. You do what's right and trust others to do the same. That's the Texas way. Hi, I'm Pat McDowell, and we ranch near Shamrock, Texas. In 2019, your dollars helped the beef-loving Texans brand reach consumers nearly 300 million times. Efforts like the hit Hulu series BarbieQuest and successful advertising prove that your checkoff is working hard to keep beef in its strongest state. Find out more at TexasBeefCheckoff.com, funded by the Texas Beef Council.
The Texas Crop and Progress Condition Report from the U.S. Department of Agriculture's National Agricultural Statistics Service for the week ending August 2nd showed that most of the state of Texas received from trace amounts up to 3 inches of rain. Areas of the Upper Coast, the Northern High Plains, South Central and Southeast Texas received up to 6 inches, with a few isolated areas of South Texas and the lower Rio Grande Valley reporting up to 15 inches of rain in the wake of Hurricane Hanna. On row crops, corn harvest continued throughout most of the southern half of the state, but slowed where precipitation was heavy. Producers were preparing for harvest in the high and low plains, as well as the cross timbers. Peanuts in the southern high plains were in the pegging stage, while in southern Texas, they reach the pod stage. Soybeans in the Blacklands struggled due to inadequate moisture, while sunflowers continued to progress. Sorghum harvest throughout much of Texas continued or would begin soon. The majority of the sorghum for grain in the southern high plains was not harvested due to poor growth caused by inadequate moisture. In the northern low plains, sorghum crops showed signs of increased counts of chink bugs as well as damage from hail. Rice harvest had begun in south central Texas, but halted in the Upper Coast due to rain. Cotton reached the boll stage in the high plains, but in the southern high plains, some dryland fields were plowed under due to poor growth. Cotton harvest in areas of the coastal bend was stalled as producers waited on fields to dry. Meanwhile, winds and heavy rain from Hurricane Hanna damaged many acres of cotton in the lower Rio Grande Valley. To fruit, vegetable, and specialty crops, pecan trees continued to progress in the Trans-Pecos, the Edwards Plateau, and the southern high plains. However, some producers in the southern high plains expected less than a full harvest due to previous freeze and a lack of moisture. Melon harvest continued in southern Texas and the southern high plains. In the lower valley, citrus trees were damaged by high winds from Hanna. Livestock range and pastures show that supplemental feeding increased due to dry conditions in areas of the high plains and the northern low plains. Flies were a nuisance to livestock within areas of the Blacklands. Grasshopper presence throughout much of the low plains continued to be an issue for grasslands, while pasture and range conditions were mostly rated fair to poor. The latest Texas Drought Monitor continues to show extreme and severe drought over most of the Texas Panhandle. In Central Texas, abnormally dry and moderate drought are the prevailing conditions. Deep South Texas, North Texas, and most of East Texas are in pretty good shape when it comes to precipitation here in early August. Pockets of extreme, severe, and moderate drought exist in the far west, from Big Bend National Park to the Guadalupe Mountains National Park.
When we moved to Texas, we were like fish out of water. We didn't know anyone in our neighborhood until our Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent came to the house. She was so helpful and reassuring, a friendly face with that Texan hospitality I'd heard about. When we purchased a Texas Farm Bureau insurance policy, we knew we were making the right choice. We knew our family would be protected.
Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance today at tfbinsurance.com to find an insurance agent who's a true neighbor. Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
You are listening to Texas News and Views. I'm Tom Nicoletti with the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
Neighbor, I want to remind you about my friends Stephen and Terry Lehman at Lehman Pipe and Cattle. They've got used sucker rod in 5/8, 3/4, 7/8, and 1 inch, and they've got used oil fill pipe, the #1 structural, straight, no holes, splits, or heavy scale, 2 3/8, 2 7/8, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 6 5/8, 7 5/8, 10 3/4, and 16 and 24-inch diameters. Also, from time to time, they see some #2 pipe available at a reduced price. Truckload discounts and delivery also available. They also have cattle guards. They make them from 10-foot wide to 30-foot wide, depending on the customer's needs and wants, with or without wings or cross gates. Also, the heavy-duty concrete beams to set them on. Stephen and Terry Lehman, Lehman Pipe and Cattle. Email them at lehmanpipe@gmail.com or call Stephen at 979-966-3447 or Terry at 979-820-8155. That's Stephen and Terry Lehman, Lehman Pipe and Cattle. Neighbor, it's time for Hop Sing to feed us lunch. Chicken fried steak, jalapeno gravy, plenty of Nanny's yeast rolls, a cold cucumber salad, and a glass of iced tea, and a visit with a sleepy little country ball of fire, Madison Bexley. Madison Bexley, Lockhart Livestock. Maddie, good morning to you.
Good morning, Larry.
How did the sale go this week?
We had a really good day. We ended up with 1,371 head of cattle with 260 cows and 40 bulls, 216 sellers, and 81 buyers.
Let's walk the pens.
On the Stucker cows, we had a really active market, especially on the front end of the pairs. We had some really nice, good young crossbred pairs, and several buyers were interested in them. The front end brought mostly from $1,350 to $1,950. A few of the other good pairs from $1,000 to $1,300. The mediocre and middle age from $6 1/4 to $975. The good bred cows from $850 to $1,200. The mediocre, middle aged, and short breds from $5 to $8 1/4. On the packer end, the bulls were about steady. The packer cows would have been 4 to 6 lower, but the week before was just so extremely good. So the cow market's still pretty good. The good high yielding cows from 62 to 78.5. The medium yielding from 55 to 61. The low yielding from 30 to 54. The good high yielding packer bulls from 90 to 99. The low and medium yielding from 70 to 89. And the calves and yearlings would have sold pretty much steady with a week ago. A few classes would have been 2 to 4 higher, but buyers were really pushing, especially on the good quality ones. So it was a good day.
Do you know of anything coming next week?
We had a guy call about 20 minutes ago and said he's going to have a little sellout deal next week. This is a guy working the cattle, so I don't know exactly what they will be yet. He said they're black cows. So,
okay. Well, got you a good start.
Yes, sir.
Tell everybody how to get a hold of y'all.
Yeah, Larry, you can always check us out on Facebook, or you can call the barn at 512-398-3476. My cell phone at 979-540-9793. Or you can ring Bubba at 512-461-6091.
Tell your dad happy birthday.
I will. Thank you, Larry.
You look pretty young to have a daddy that's 100 years old, though. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. Neighbors, let's talk about a very helpful website, McCoys.com. That's McCoy's Building Centers. They're Project Central. In fact, you can go to their DIY ideas page and get all kinds of ideas, whether it's adding a deck or building a raised bed. In fact, their backyard projects icon is one of the best to tackle a weekend project. Outdoor spaces, just click on the deck design plans. Everybody has problems with a garage and workshop. Believe me, I know. Mine's pretty messy. Just hit the Storage Solutions icon. Or if you need yard care and landscaping help, Outdoor Plans is going to help you. And it's all at www.mccoys.com. That's McCoy's Building Centers all over this region. Find the one near you at mccoys.com. We're on the line Friday morning about 8 o'clock with Russell Heller. We're looking toward a Saturday sale in Lexington. Russell, what have you heard is headed our direction?
Yes, sir. I know one man, he's going to have about 30 or 35 calves, and one of them's going to have about 10 or 15.
Good. What weight do you think they'll come in at?
Those 35, they'll weigh kind of 5.5 to 7 probably, and the other ones they'll weigh probably 450 to 550.
Crossbred kind of cattle or blacks and yellows? What are they?
Charolais crosses.
Good deal. Work good in your country. Tell everybody how to get a hold of you for that Saturday sale.
Yes, sir. You can get me on my cell, and that number is 979-820-7002.
We'll talk to you Monday. Thank you. Y'all have a good weekend. Be careful.
You too. Thank you, Larry.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Texas feedlots are catching up. I'm Kerry Martin with Focus on Agriculture on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. Texas feedlots are dealing with a backlog of cattle due to the COVID-19 related shutdowns of processing plants earlier this year. But Ross Wilson, president and CEO of the Texas Cattle Feeders Association, says they're moving through those backed up cattle quicker than they thought they could.
We definitely still have a backlog. I do not believe, our members do not believe, that it will take us till the end of the year or even well into the first quarter of next year to clean up that backlog, which was what we thought at the beginning of looking at all those numbers. So we're moving through those cattle more efficiently.
Wilson says there are some feed yards that have already caught up with the backlog and are current, but he feels like everyone should be back to current levels in the next few months.
We have members that have no backlog currently. So we hope that we can continue certainly in that direction. We have no reason to think that we can't unless there's some other hiccup with COVID down the road, and we think that we will be through that backlog before the end of the year.
Fed cattle prices are still below break-even levels, with cattle sold out of the feedlots today losing more than $200 per head.
For healthier crops and stronger yields, count on Nutrien Ag Solutions. By partnering with the leader in plant nutrition, you'll have access to innovative products and unmatched service that deliver impact and efficiency to every acre. Healthier crops, happier growers. Lead the field this season and beyond. Find your local crop consultant at nutrienagsolutions.com.
6 F-35A fighter jets, 1 NFL team, a trip to the moon, all have a $1 billion price tag. Something else that costs $1 billion? Respiratory challenges in cattle each year. It's time to fight back against costly respiratory challenges. That's why Purina starter feeds are formulated with RX3 immune support technology. It boosts calves' natural defenses, priming their immune systems from the start. Talk to your Purina rep to learn more. Harvest is moving forward in many areas of Texas. The latest Texas Crop Progress and Condition Report showing the sorghum harvest just a little over 1/3 done now. 35% of the sorghum out of the field in Texas, according to the report. That's a bit behind the 41% 5-year average pace. Texas rice harvest starting to get underway. 15% of the rice crop now harvested. That is right on pace with the 5-year average. 35% of the state's sunflowers are now harvested, well ahead of the 20% average pace. I'm Kerry Martin on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
We're on the line with Ken Jordan Cattle Auction. We had a sale in San Saba. Ken, how did it turn out?
You bet, Larry. We had right at 3,000 head today, and for the whole week, about 3,950, including our Monday sale. I thought today demand was very, very strong, had a very active market. I thought overall the quality of calves was very choice that was offered today. A lot of good deals, strings of cattle. I thought the stocker steers today were $4 to $7 higher. Had a draft of 30 steers, weighed 561 at $1.53, a little over $858 on those. Had stalker heifers. I thought they were probably $4 to $8 higher. Had a draft of 42 heifers in one deal, weighed 575, brought $1.36 and a half, a little over $785 on those 5-weight heifers. The feeder steers were $4 to $10 higher, and maybe in some instances up to $13 higher. Had a group of 5 steers, weighed 721 at $1.39, a little over $1,002 on those. I thought overall the feeder heifers were 8 to 12 higher, and we had 18 heifers in the draft. Weighed 717, brought $1.40, a little over $1,004 on those. Packer bulls and cows, I thought overall sold steady. Maybe the cows were $2 lower. But pairs and bred cows, are also steady too today. We did have a deal of open polled Hereford heifers, real good, that weaned about 6 days. They weighed 602 and brought $1.59, a little over $958 on those, Larry.
Good
overall,
deal.
Very good market.
How about Monday sale in Mason?
I think we'll have a pretty good run. Weather, has been a little drier up in this country, hadn't had much rain, and these calves are still doing very, very well, and you're starting to see more calves come to town because of that, kind of saving the cows right now.
Tell everybody how to contact you.
They can give us a call, Larry. Go 325-372-5159, Larry. Also go to our website. We do have that female sale coming up August the 22nd. We've already got our first round of listings up there at jordancattle.com, Larry.
Ken, we'll talk to you Sunday night.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
We're on the line with Wade Floyd from D&D Texas Outfitters, Seguin. Wade, everybody thinks about deer in the fall, but we really need to take care of the protein situation all year round. What do you got to offer us this week?
Yeah, Larry, we do Antler Max proteins and your Antler Advantage made by Purina. They're some of the best that if you feed them year-round, you really do see the result. We also carry a Double Down protein that's been becoming very more popular.
And we want you to get it at D&D in Seguin. Wade Floyd, tell everybody how to contact you.
Larry, they can call me here at the store at 830-379-7340, extension 180.
Neighbor, Panhandle Texans are helping make the EPA a more friendly place to agriculture. Our Panhandle reporter from Texas Farm Bureau Roundup, James Hunt, reports.
The Trump administration recently reactivated EPA's Farm, Ranch, and Rural Communities Federal Advisory Committee, and a Panhandle man was chosen to serve as chairman of the 33-member panel. Tom McDonald of Hartley says he wants to help agriculture make inroads with EPA decision-makers.
I'm sure the goal of every production agriculture representative on the committee is to protect against excessive regulations. But I think the bigger objective in my mind is to put a face on agriculture.
And when it comes to that face, McDonald wants to show EPA personnel that ag is not an enemy of the environment, but rather a friend.
What I would like for them to see is the way agriculture really is. We're leaders in the world for producing safe, wholesome food at an affordable price. And we are responsible with our natural resources and take our natural resource management very seriously.
One specific example of an issue where McDonald believes more enlightenment is needed is the way agriculture is depicted when it comes to greenhouse gas emissions. Contrary to what some media reports might suggest, McDonald says U.S. agriculture overall actually produces only a relatively small amount of such emissions, and when you factor in the beneficial impact provided by vegetation like grazing lands and row crops, when all is said and done, U.S. agriculture ultimately is net carbon zero.
We all know from our high school biology class that plants take up CO2 and give off oxygen, and that CO2 is coming from the greenhouse gas emissions that are in the atmosphere.
McDonald brings to the chairmanship decades of experience working in the arena of ag and natural resources, including 25 years with Five Rivers Cattle Feeding, where he is Senior Vice President of Environmental Affairs and Sustainability. Reporting for Farm Bureau Roundup in Hartley, I'm James Hunt.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance today at tfbinsurance.com to get insurance for Texans by Texans. Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Neighbor, let's take a look at the grains, courtesy of John Tuggle. Call 800-288-4453. Number 2 or better Milo through Corpus in August. D's plus 150, 846. Calling Houston, D's plus 175, 891. Progresso, $7. Yellow corn through Corpus in August. September plus 35, 346 and a quarter. We'll call Houston, September plus 25, 336 and a quarter. And Progresso, $7. Hard red winter wheat through Corpus in August, September plus 80, 497 and a quarter. Calling Houston, September plus $1, 517 and a quarter. Number 1 beans through Houston, August, September delivery, November less 15, 863. Neighbor, let's take a look at Texas cotton. 2,078 bale of East Texas, 5,156 bale of West Texas. Average prices from $59.41 on the low side to $61.91 on the high side. Neighbor, that's it for Down on the Farm and the Grains and Cotton. I'm Larry Marble. Good day.